Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to WAMPF. Joining me for this match between the Found Vikings and Durotan's Couch on a last-minute scrambled-together cast. My boy Jay's on. How's it going, Jay?
It's going pretty good. We've got two pretty interesting teams. Kind of experienced NGS teams. Cool rules that we got going on in WAMP that are gonna spice things up a bit. I'm really interested to see what these teams come up with.
Oh, and you know what? Speaking of cool rules, remind me I did not put the perma bans in there. So when we get to draft, I'll plug and play that real quick.
Sounds good.
We're ready to go. But not only did I get caught up at work, my OBS is also not cooperating. So I am scrambling just a little bit. But in 15 seconds, I think I will have it fixed. And we can give everybody that sweet, sweet R. All right. I think I got it, Jay.
And how about this map we're going to? If we're going to talk about unique things, this is going to be the first competitive game I've ever seen on this map, personally. We're going to Hanamura.
And looks like that is, let's see, Team 2 is... Oh, I hope I have them on the right side. Durotan's Couch is on... No! Ah! Wait!
Yeah, Found Vikings definitely on the right.
So this is, if Team 2 is getting first pick, that would mean this is Durotan's Couch choice of map. Got it figured out. All right. These guys are wonderful and working with us. Not only did they hang out a couple minutes, Jay, but now they're switching sides after me coming in here like a diva and demanding it because all my overlays are set up.
Did they switch the team draft too? The first draft?
We got to make sure too.
All right.
All right. So, for those of you who might be here and not familiar with WAMP, I'm surprised because I'm sure most of you are, but
what have you been doing with your lives?
Yeah, why aren't you familiar? But in WAMP, permaban, each team got a permaban, and so there are 8 heroes that are permanently banned, as Sir Noble so kindly put into chat. Alarak, Anubarak, Garrosh, Kel'Thuzad, Murky, Medivh, Maiev, and Zeratul. And furthermore, every ban that is made throughout this best of 3 set will stick. So those bans in Game 1 will go to Game 2, and the bans from Games 1 and 2 will roll to Game 3. Jay, we've played a couple of matches in our little WAMP journey. What's that been like in this draft, other than slightly hard to keep track of?
Yeah, I mean, it gives you an opportunity to play heroes and combos that you might not otherwise get to play. I mean, for God's sakes, I played a Zagara game the other day. That would never happen in a real NGS game, but that's kind of fun. Especially in an off-season event like this, gives you something a little bit unique to play around with and enjoy, and just let loose a little bit in the off-season, have some fun.
And for those of you who see this screen switching, obviously I misclicked. Please ignore, it will only be here momentarily.
Whoops.
Whoops! It's just one of those. One of those. It's one of those.
It's one of them.
It is one of them.
One of one, if you will.
All right, well, while I try to find what I'm looking for, why don't you take the lead?
All right, so right off the bat, Tyrande and Ana banned out. So, well, actually, isn't Ana already perma-banned?
No.
Oh, it's different per Wait, no, these don't have divisions.
No.
All right. Well, either way, they're targeting healers. Of course, all of these healers that get banned out, which that's the third one now, will not be available for any of the potential 3 matches. The bans stick throughout, so they're definitely limiting those possible healer pools, and so we're gonna see maybe by the end here just a complete non-healer comp or 2.
Could be.
There we go. Breaking the mold. There goes Imperious from Durotan's couch. So, really good off laner. Good front line potential there. Good CC, especially in these tight areas where you're constantly fighting over the payload. So it can be very difficult to dodge. Sometimes it forces you into these chokeholds. So I like the Imperious ban.
And then a first pick variant. Does that mean they have something up their sleeve? It seems an odd first pick.
It does, and we see Uther coming out. So again, the healer pools being dwindled down to where Uther seems like a good viable early pick here. Vala as well. So a lot of constant damage coming out from the Vala. Low health pool though, so it needs quite a lot of support. We might even see a secondary support coming in for the side of Durotan's couch.
Could do, and those of you who are once again seeing this, I know. We're fixing, I promise we're fixing.
Hashtag delay. We do have Kel'Thas and Alex Straza coming out though as the next couple picks. So a couple potential globe quests here early, which it's kind of a rough map for globes. There's no real rotating involved on this map. Just a simple 2-lane map. And especially when you're fighting over these payloads, you spend a lot of time in the middle, where there are some camps, but there's just not a whole lot of opportunity to get to those globes.
Yep, and now a Rexar ban coming out.
Interesting.
For the couch here.
Yeah, good. Again, another good solo lane option, but also just really difficult to deal with in terms of the sustained damage he can put out now. He's a much better team fighter than he used to be before that adjustment that he got in one of the recent patches. But now Anduin going to be banned out, so that's now 4 healers off the table, and all of the best ones, I think, all of the top tier have pretty much left the building at this point.
Yeah, and after all of that vamping you just did for me, I finally managed to get the drafting ban graphic up. Celebration.
Got him. All right. Well, now everyone can see it. And now Ariel is going to be picked up. So there's triple support. Wait a minute. Tassadar picked up as well. So this is just a straight up support the Vala. Hyper carry, if you will.
Yeah, well, we did mention that's one of the kind of what has turned into the calling cards of the little event we're having here is different things. There's been all kinds of stuff. Yeah, and it's really made it a lot of fun. All right. All right, now I think I really actually have it. I'm ready to rock and roll here. It's a good thing you were here, Jay. Otherwise, there would have been a whole lot of radio silence that whole time.
Hey, it's a work in progress. We're all figuring it out. But Thrall going to come in for contender, as well as the Jaina on the backside there. So now double mage to try and counter with a little bit of burst here, this triple support comp. Make it quadruple support. What is happening here?
Durotan's couch. They're drafting like they're playing in a fiesta, Jason.
They are playing in a fiesta. They're drafting like it. And now Varian, probably going to end up being taunt Varian here, main tank, Thrall in the solo. And, that taunt, it functions very well with burst heroes. You get in there, you just completely disable one hero, and all of the CC and damage just rains down. So it will be interesting to see. It's kind of like the unstoppable force versus the immovable object.
Yeah, and typically when you have, I don't know if there's ever a typical quad support comp, but usually when you have these kind of weird comps like this, wave clear is an issue, but with a Vala, an Ariel, and a Tassadar, I think they'll have enough to fake it. Certainly not enough to keep up, though, with Jaina Kael'thas on the other side. This is going to be fascinating, to say the least.
Well, and I'm looking at the comp now for Durotan's Couch, and hold on, it might be 4 heroes that are labeled as supports, but we have Uther the tank, we've got Karazim the diver, we've got Ariel the true healer, and then we have Tassadar the wave clear mage hero. So maybe this is more of a real comp from Durotan's Couch.
Yeah. I guess.
No, we're not really buying that? Okay,
no.
Right.
I mean, Tank Uther, solo lane Tassadar, question mark. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams. The blue team. The Vikings that have been found. Sailor Sky on Alexstrasza, Dicky on Jaina, Contender on Varian, Cyan on Kael'thas, and in the top lane it is PJ Tim on Thrall.
And on the right, Durotan's Couch, we've got Captain Wedge playing the Uther. We've got Big Egg Roll on the Karazim, Solm on the Ariel, Wildcard on the Tassadar, and Goku playing the Vala.
And let me just say it again, I love all of the teams, just how they've approached everything in this has just been so batty and wacky in a good way. Yeah, really not taking it too seriously, playing hard, but hard fun, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and everybody just wants to have a good time in the off season. We want to continue playing, keeping our fingers warmed up for when Season 7 comes around. And this is a great way to do it. Play some heroes that don't really matter that much. Try your hardest to use those heroes to get to the ever-important WAMP playoffs, and just have a good time along the way.
Well, not just the WAMP playoffs, Jason, the Golden Sombrero Finals, because only in WAMP can you play in the Golden Sombrero Finals as Big Egg Rolls goes in and probably saves fellow support Ariel there with a little dash and heal.
Now, meanwhile, up in the top lane, Thrall and Tassadar going back and forth here. The wave clear from Wildcard should be enough to keep Thrall at bay, but Kael'thas falling in the bot lane. First blood going to be drawn here by Durotan's Couch. Who would have thunk it?
By Assassin Uther. He sent Vala, you better pick it up.
Kind of reminds me of a Rhaegar game earlier, but we won't talk about that. For now, we'll move on back to the top lane as they poke back and forth here. And taking a look, we do have...
Oh my goodness!
Oh, the action is just going on constantly here in the bot lane. We can't look away. Contender getting so low, get that final heal, but it's not enough. That's going to be 3-0 here for Durotan's Couch on the kill count the first 2 minutes.
Yeah, the quad support, Jaina and Kael'thas, that the team actually for Found Vikings, especially with Thrall in the top lane, it's all burst. Not a lot of sustained damage, so kind of once you get past that initial wave of cooldowns, Durotan's Couch is kind of in the clear if Found Vikings doesn't actually secure a kill.
Well, and I was really hoping this was going to be taunt variant, but as I was talking to you about before we got so rudely interrupted by that double kill, was Vikings Quest coming in as level 1, which is a telltale sign that we're getting Twin Blades, which is what variant's gone here. So he will be able to solo these samurai camps. But at the same time, they're not going to have a whole lot of lockdown to try and take advantage of all this burst damage on the side of the Found Vikings.
No, and the flip side is as two teams clash over top vision camp, Durotan's Couch does have limited forms of hard CC to keep Varian at bay. Uther stun, the whip into the wall that we just saw, and assuming he goes Divine Storm. But there definitely are some limitations there, as Found Vikings is pressing their buttons. Here comes the Dragon Queen Blizzard going out, and Durotan's Couch just saying, nah, we're good. We're just going to kind of walk over here and wait out the storm. And that was a good move, just kind of waiting out the cooldowns, and then they'll go work their way onto the Vision Camp one more time, and, maybe at some point this game, one of these teams will get on the objective.
Yeah, that's the experience. Oh, speaking of experience, big gravity lapse there. It's not an experience that Durotan's Couch is going to want to see again, but that's the experience of a very long-standing team, Durotan's Couch here in NGS. They know when to go in, when to avoid fights, They go in there, though, and they just got... Kel'Thas just completely stopped any kind of advance from Durotan's couch there. Very nicely done.
Well, and you mentioned very experienced team. Let's have a little bit of NGS history here. There is only one team still around from NGS Season 1, and it is Durotan's couch.
Yeah. Yeah, a couple teams come to mind that have been around for a long time. Frankfurters comes to mind. They had a very successful season this year in D East. But ultimately, you're right. As we do see, they're just trading out here. All 5 members are up here in the top. The Found Vikings going in hard onto this fort. And we still will see the rotation from Durotan's couch to try and answer it. But the damage is already done here, Mongoose.
Yeah, and one of the, as Cyan on Kel'Thas going to go down, Blizzard going to zone the members of Durotan's couch away. One of the things, excuse me, Twin Blades variant excels at is pushing down structures. You know, it's kind of the old, when you get Twin Blades variant and Illidan on core, it's a real problem. So I think the couch recognized that they couldn't just race against the Twin Blades variant structure-wise, because that's not one they would win. But they did win the race to 10 by a pretty handed margin there, and it is going to be... Oh, Divine Shield. I am such a terrible observer. I don't think I've caught one of those kills this game.
You are 1 for 5. We did get the variant kill.
Oh,
but,
right.
Yeah, but either way, a very impressive start here from Durotan's couch. But I like the recognition. The Found Vikings, they're running a little bit behind. They feel the need to push, need to make something happen, and they do manage to get a stop.
Oh my god!
Dying in the top lane. Oh no!
These guys may as not well have a caster. I'm just gonna turn the stream off, and we'll get it on the next one. Worst Observer NA right here. I'm gonna have to take the Falendrith course on observing.
Well, either way, you mentioned it. They were as 5 up in the top lane, pushing that structure down, falling a little behind in XP because they had nobody bottom at the time. And even now, they're finally rotating somebody up to cover Thrall's lane. But now, getting even more work done here in the bot as they get a nice chunk off of this bottom fort.
Yeah, this is a really interesting game because kills are 6-0 in favor of Durotan's couch. They're almost a full 2 levels up. But the structure lead is actually for the Found Vikings, which is just bizarre when you look at those stats.
Yeah, that might prove to catch up with the Found Vikings a little bit later in the game. But one of the things you don't have a whole lot of in a 4 support comp is siege damage. But either way, out comes the ring. Big root onto 1 there. The damage falling, but the healing coming through for Captain Wedge. They're turning around. And all the damage coming out, Dragon Queen having to be popped to keep them alive. But it looks like both teams are going to mostly just walk away from this, I'm not going to say unscathed, but without giving up any kills here.
Yeah, you know, that's honestly not a good sign for Found Vikings, Jay. They hit a big ring. If they can't burst somebody down with a ring Jaina Kel'Thas, I mean, I'm not sure how you fight that.
Yeah, the mages have to save the cooldown to follow up whatever variant is going on here, but right now they're just kind of throwing the abilities out, getting a lot of spread damage, and eventually you're going to see that go in favor of Durotan's couch as they pick up their 7th kill there, this time on Thrall.
And make it the 8th as Jaina goes down 2. Found Vikings trying to look for answers in this quad support comp. I mean, we haven't really gone over the heroics yet, but it is Earthquake, Warbringer for Varian, Phoenix for Kel'Thas, Ring of Frost for Jaina, and Cleansing Flame for Alex Straza on the Found Vikings.
Yeah, meanwhile for Durotan's couch, they've got the Blessed Shield, 7-sided strike, along with the Resurrection, and the Archon and Strafe. So pretty spicy heroics for Durotan's couch this game.
Well, when you're in the Fiesta, Jay, this is where Resurrection and quad support Vala comps make appearances here. You never know what's going to happen.
Well, the Resurrection makes sense. There's exactly one hyper carry, big time damage dealer for Durotan's couch. So if they lose Vala, they want to be able to resurrect Goku here. But we are going to see the ult popped here, and that Cleansing Flame is trying to focus on Vala. Ultimately, doesn't find the pick. Ton of damage coming down on a wild card as well, but he backs up. He's not going to turn with the Archon, still taking a ton of damage. is going to fall here. Do they want to pop the Resurrect on him? It looks like for now they're looking to just retreat, and nice zoning here from the Found Vikings. They're going to continue the pursuit and leave that Ghost of Tassadar in the rear view.
Yeah, Found Vikings, they were trying to do anything and everything they could to finally capitalize on something that went well for them. But that the return 3-0 after the death of Tassadar, who will now be rejoining us after being resurrected by Ariel Cyan, running for his life as Goku runs him down, and the siege of this bot keep will begin for Durotan's couch.
I can only imagine what those comms are like, Mongoose. All right, we killed the support. Go, go, go. Wait, they still have another 3 supports.
I know. What I want to see, though, is I want to see Captain Wedge YOLO to kill himself to provide the ghost heals to be resurrected and back to participating in.
Huh.
So he gets
like
trait value plus resurrection.
Trait and ult value.
That's
it's
right.
The best of both worlds. It's like hot ice. All right, so here goes. Speaking of hot ice, here comes Jaina and Kel'Thas trying to push back the members of Durotan's couch, and they do successfully push them out of this corridor a little bit. They got 13. This is the fight they want to take. Contender diving in onto Sol in the ring on the backside, completely whipping, not finding a single target. Varian dies first. Goku back on the backside with Strafe dealing a ton of damage, and in comes the healers to push this payload back.
Yeah, I don't know what the answer is now. They're going to be 3 levels down, a talent tier down. Just no great answers, honestly, for the Found Vikings here.
Yeah, so the structures have been evened out and now actually tipping a little bit into the favor of Durotan's couch. We said earlier that eventually will come back to bite them, that level lead, winning the objectives, being able to finally have enough damage to push down the structures, even with all these healers. And really, the supporting has just been on fire here this game for Vala. She has not died a single time despite that low health pool. As who needs a tank anyway?
Yeah, as the Divine Shield going out on a Vala really let her go into town. Goku is just feeling like the world is his oyster. Contender running for his life. Wildcard forced to use the dimensional shift to get away. Finally, maybe the Found Vikings have something. They're on the pursuit. The return's done from Captain Wedge. Thrall goes down. Will Vala fall? No. Instead, it's Varian. Ring of Frost unable to catch. And the massacre continues. Now 15, 16, 17 kills to 1. And this will probably do it, Jason.
That is one of the most ridiculous things I think I've ever seen in Heroes of the Storm. Is how many times Goku was close. I'd like to see just like a zoomed in version of his health bar just going up and down and up and down there. They almost got him, but not quite enough. Durotan's couch gonna pull out the cheese for game number 1's win.
You know, the big number that sticks out to me isn't the 70k Vala damage far and away number 1. That was expected, right?
Right.
What jumps out to me is the assassin level damage coming out of Tassadar.
Right.
Basically,
well, he's a support. He's not a healer. And he's got that ult. He's got Archon to be able to turn around. You saw him turning around and getting a lot of those kills, and not even Vala.
Yeah, and I mean almost equaling Kel'Thas's damage, out damaging Jaina, out damaging Varian, out damaging Thrall. Now, part of that, a large part of that, was the Found Vikings were clearly, all of them, they were never comfortable in their own space. They weren't free to do what they wanted with their cooldowns. They were just constantly under pressure. And Durotan's couch had the opposite. For the most part, they were kind of able to do what they wanted. They didn't feel largely under threat the whole game. And when you're worried about not dying as opposed to imposing your will on the other side, it affects those numbers for sure.
Yeah, big time. And just looking through the builds, pretty standard across the board. That Cyan Fusion build from Tassadar is exactly what we would expect when you need that extra wave clear and you need that extra damage in this situation. Battle Axe Uther with that Hammer of the Lightbringer, and then the Q on the Holy Shock. So again, more damage base to try and make up for the lack of healing. And I don't know. I think Saul might have had the wrong idea there. I think Crystal Aegis might have saved Wildcard that one time. Could have been a 17-0. It's not good enough. It's just not. I'm just not impressed.
I think they actually let Tassadar die solely so Ariel could press R once that game.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see where we're going for game number 2. It will be Volskaya Foundry. And let's see who picked this map. No clue yet.
No. Don't give it away. We want it to be a surprise.
All right, everybody is here, just waiting for those draft settings. So what are we going to see in Game 2? If we saw a Quad Vala comp in Game 1, what is going to happen with...
Yeah, I just don't know where we go from there, It's like...
Well, Zool Rule says now it's 5 supports with Tyrande.
Ah, okay. Well, that's probably not as effective, but maybe just Tassadar is the main damage dealer there. But wait a minute, I think I see. We had a stowaway.
Aha.
But yeah, very fun match to watch as always in WAMP. These are just definitely entertaining matches that you don't get to see these anywhere else. And on Volskaya, there are all kinds of wacky comps that you can pull out. I think I've seen more Cho'Gall matches on this map than on any other map in the game. So we could see a little bit of that. Pretty much anything that has high team fight value can be popular here. But ultimately, in WAMP, you just don't know. One thing I do know, though, is that if the side of the Found Vikings keep banning out supports like they have been, Durotan's Couch isn't going to even have 4 supports to select.
Yeah, there's... When you start... Game 3 is especially interesting when you have all of these banned out. But here we're going to go into Game 2. So with Durotan's Couch first pick, so this was Found Vikings' choice of map, opting for, map pick over first pick.
Yeah, so it makes me think they might have something in store here. When you want that second pick, when you want that map, that's when you're potentially pulling out a like a comfort strat, something that's a little bit unorthodox, like we see in WAMP a lot, and you could save that last pick for something super spicy.
Indeed. Hope to see Cho'Gall. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, it could be anything.
All right, our buttons coming out.
Here we
are into the draft. And, whoops, go away. And going to be more OBS shenanigans as I actually clipped the bans from last game. So I'm going to just copy pasta them on here.
Nice.
So everybody could see. Yay!
Very fancy.
Yep. You like that? You like that fanciness?
I do. All right, so first ban going over to Durotan's Couch. We saw them start to ban, one healer here, at the start, but judging by their strategy, I don't see them doing that again. I think all of the good healers are off the table. Maybe start taking some tanks off the table since you don't like to play those anyway. Well,
there are tanks and healers already off the table from Game 1. Just to recap, Anduin, Brightwing, Tyrande, Anna, Imperius, Rexar from Game 1. Now Lucio. We are going to run out of supports very quickly. Down goes Uther.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, and the only support-ish type hero that's off the table from the original bans is Medivh, so
right.
Nothing too big there. But none of the traditional hyper carries are really gone, so I think that might be a reason why we maybe saw Durotan's couch banning that out, but we will see, or going with that strategy, I mean. But Haka going to be banned out here for round number 1. And now we'll see which other healer that the Found Vikings don't want to see.
Well, there's still Rhaegar left, Alex Straza left. Who am I forgetting? Lily is left. Ariel.
Yeah, they played the Ariel last time.
Well,
There's
no Rhaegar.
All right.
There's really not that many left on the boards. If I were either one of these teams, I would be highly prioritizing whatever support is left.
Well, and Durotan's couch just have the ability to still pick up 3 before the next ban phase, but they're going to eliminate one of those options here with Falstad.
Yeah, first pick Falstad going for the global on Volskaya Foundry. And now, I want to see Found Vikings pick up 2 supports. 2 of the 3 left supports, I want them to draft them right here. It needs to be Lily, Alex Straza, or like Lily, Ariel. Okay, well, 1. So Sonya, Alex Straza coming out for the Found Vikings.
Well, they did take your advice. They prioritized the healer. And Alex Straza, a very good healer on this map, even better than on the previous. So just so strong being able to bring Dragon Queen into that first map objective on Control Point A. So we're definitely going to see that strategy employed here by Sailor Sky. And Sonya also pretty good as a camp taker on this map, as well as fighter on the point, being able to spin those areas. But there's another 2 healers. Durotan's couch is on it, man.
Clearly, I forgot about a couple. Stukov and Mouth. Still Lily out there, and one more, Ariel. So Durotan's couch could stick with the Formula J and go with quad support hypercarry Falstad. Just saying.
It's true. It's true. They could do that. But there goes Kerosene. And just when you thought you'd remembered all the healers, there goes Kerosene.
It turns out there are a lot of healers in this game.
Oh, yeah. And, wait, Tyrande?
She is banned from last game, yeah.
Oh, okay, yes, you're right. So, yeah, it's hard for me to keep track of, so I can't imagine how and I'm staring at it on the screen, so. Thrall going to be the ban out here for Durotan's couch. I like that. Thrall pretty difficult to deal with on the points here. Very easy for him to stack up any of his quests because you're both very close to your opponents on these control points, and very close, no matter where you are, to the waves in lane to be able to stack the others. So, good hero here on Volskaya. Going to be banned out. Interesting. Yrel. You don't see a whole lot of Yrel nowadays, Mongoose.
You do not. And Found Vikings sticking with something of a more traditional combo, though kind of a double bruiser. Maybe they're thinking of kind of something similar to Durotan's couch. Instead of quad support, they'll go quad tank. You can't kill us, we can't kill you, and this will be the game that never ends.
That's true. These fights could last forever.
I want Durotan's couch to know that I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Disappointed, right?
I really wanted a Lily Ariel there with the hypercarry Falstad.
Well, everybody wants to make it to that Golden Sombrero finals, Mongoose, and so I can't blame them for picking some strong heroes. And of course, the damage potential and the CC potential over on Durotan's couch, very, very scary here in these situations on these control points.
Yeah, you get the taunt, Kerrigan combo into Roots, into Dukov Silence, and then Genji. So double reset, double bruiser here for the Found Vikings.
Yeah, no true tank, once again, on either side, except with the possibility of taunt variant, but, we thought we might see that last game and it didn't pan out, and this is, of course, WAMPF, so you never really know what people are going to pick. We saw wacky heroics last time from Durotan's couch, so we might see that again. And double support means you could get away with a little bit less tankiness. So I don't know. We'll see where they want to go with it. They definitely need more damage, I think, than the possibility. So I wouldn't blame them at all for going... Colossus Smash might actually be a good combo with the Kerrigan as well. That extra armor shred as they try to burst somebody down.
All right, so game number 2 on Volskaya Foundry, a map that is all about the toys. But Jason, I just DM'd Wedge because I thought I got a sniff of this, but apparently in the midst of me messing around with OBS trying to get my stream not to be completely terrible, we missed in chat the reason there are no tanks is the teams have a gentleman's agreement to not draft tanks. So this will not be a taunt variant. This will be an assassin variant. And this has gone from a plebe fiesta to like a super plebe fiesta here.
Yes, indeed.
All right.
I don't know. It's interesting for sure, and it's a lot of fun. But I guess now we know.
All right, the blue team, the Found Vikings, Cyan on Leeming Contender on Genji, PJ Tim on Sonya, Sailor Sky on Alex Straza, and finishing a sandwich at the Hall of Storms, Dicky on Urel.
Meanwhile, on the right, we've got Durotan's couch, Goku playing the Falstad, Wildcard on the Malfurion. Let's see, Sailor Twift. Okay, that one got me. Playing the Stukov, Sir Noble going to be playing Kerrigan, and Afish on the variant.
Now, the last big Genji, though, I wonder how much value they'll get out of that with like a Twilight Dream and double support. Seems like it might be tough to get resets.
It may well be. It's going to depend on how much counter engage they have after these combos come out. You see there some nice healing coming out right away from Sailor Sky. Also, good just turnaround damage, but now the damage coming down onto Sonya. The stun does manage to hit, but the silence a little bit late on the follow-up. No damage there. And then both teams will go ahead and walk away from that mid-skirmish.
So the no tanks agreement between our two contestants this evening definitely explains the not just odd levels of weirdness in Draft Game 1, but the really bizarro draft.
Yeah, no tanks banned because both teams have agreed not to play it, so they can focus their bans on another group of heroes like the sports. So, still got a lot of damage dealers out there though that both teams can choose from. No problems there.
Well, if there's one thing we've learned from these drafts is that damage dealers are not necessary and are completely overrated, and only noobs draft damage dealers, Jay.
There you go. Sure, we'll go with that.
As Cyan in a lot of trouble. Kerrigan diving in with the Ravage to finish her off. First blood over to the couch as Falstad and Dicky continue to brawl in the bottom lane. Ooh. That is a match Urel will win. Really bullying Goku down there. Forcing Sailor Twift to come and throw a healing pustule out as Durotan's couch will start on the turret.
Yeah, Goku going to go lick his wounds a little bit there. Let Urel go ahead and bully in that lane the way she's been doing. Maybe they'll have something for her later, but Urel, we don't see her a whole lot, but she's still famous for being a lane bully for sure.
Yep, definitely. She's durable, bullies in a lane, and back-to-back Twin Blades Varian coming out here for, this time, Durotan's couch. They really have an all-in Kerrigan Twin Blades comp. As the teams continue to clash here in the mid, Kerrigan combo does not hit on Sonya.
This must be awkward for the tank players on each team.
Yes, especially depending on what they end up playing. It's going to be different for sure. I don't know how... It's going to be hard, Jay, for Found Vikings to get resets here. I think that might be the ultimate deciding factor. If you have a Li Ming and you're not getting resets, you're just not getting value out of that hero. And it's going to be hard for her to do that.
Well, and Malfurion, his healing is slow, so he's not going to save anybody from, the burst damage and the chunk damage that can come out to set up Genji. But they got to wait for Stukov's cooldowns to be down. Meanwhile, we do see the combo coming in. Big boop back as well, paired very well with that dragon. And Durotan's couch is going to nope on out of there. So, again, kind of the problem with not having tanks is you don't have a whole lot of lockdown. So anytime the other team wants to walk away, they can just kind of do that. So they wait out Sailor Sky on that Dragon Queen. They give them the point. They'll give them a little bit of percentage. and as soon as they're done soaking in these lanes, getting level 7, they'll come right back down, and Durotan's Couch will have the advantage here.
Yeah, and Found Vikings comp in particular really doesn't have a way to hold somebody here, as Genji gets Stukov Kerrigan down, drops a turret as well. But Durotan's Couch does. They, a well-placed lawn from Malfurion can hold Found Vikings in the Kerrigan mess, as Goku comes in on the flank, putting some damage onto the Li Ming. Now going on to the Sonya. There goes the Kerrigan. Combo hits 3 with a root right underneath. Sonya falling. And the objective will start charging for Durotan's Couch.
Yeah, it's a good counterplay there. You almost give the credit for that kill over to Sailor Sky. That healing circle goes down, and then it's like target acquired for Kerrigan.
Yeah, not just Kerrigan, but the Malfurion root right underneath it made it just a bullseye for all of the heroes there on the Found Vikings. And Kerrigan's going to have a whole lot of fun if there's 3 stationary targets sitting on a lawn for her.
Dickey going to go back in, trying to force him back here a little bit. They want this point back. They do have 83%, but the silence goes down very nicely, placed there by Sailor Twift. And looks like they are going to go into overtime here, but plenty of time for Durotan's Couch to be able to contest this. And they do have a turret on their side. 2 of them, actually.
Yeah, and Dragon Queen should be up fairly soon here, I would guess, but it will not matter for now. Yrel, Sonya, Genji falling, Alexstrasza as well. 4 for naught. Durotan's Couch on the warpath, and with the triple turrets, Jay. Just sitting on the point.
I don't know how to count. It's official. 3 turrets, and that just shredded the Found Vikings. So that's going to be the first Triglav protector of the game going over to Durotan's Couch. And now we'll have to see where they want to push. Typically, we see a lot of teams go after the mid-front wall, but then eventually go on up the top, because the ultimate goal here is to get that well in the top lane and set yourself up with a bit of an advantage here for control point B up in the top.
So for the second game in a row, Durotan's Couch up on kills, and it reaches level 10 about 2 levels here before the Found Vikings, as this Rock'em Sock'em Robot will get the top wall and the fountain as well, and it is going to be Hinterland Blast, Twilight Dream, Massive Shove, Ultralisk, and Warbringer for more stickiness for Durotan's Couch.
But where's the X, Mongoose? I don't.
They're just trying to cross the T, I guess. They only watched half of the game last night.
Yeah, and then well, actually, they could also use the Twilight Dream to dot the I, if you will.
Well, there you go. That'll work. But meanwhile, bottom lane.
Bot lane. What?
But this is a comment I made last game.
I didn't even see it.
Twin Blades variant on structures. Just chews through them. You cannot just let him sit there and just wail on structures. He just melts them.
Meanwhile, we've got another turret being picked up here. They had already gotten their own following they're near the end of that, and probably used it in that push. I can't imagine that they pushed through the entire bottom fort and the bottom front wall of that keep without that turret. But still, just what a great start here for Durotan's Couch. Nearly a little over 2-level lead, and they are just marching in the advantage so far with structures.
Yeah, and in my opinion, Volskaya is one of the harder maps to work from behind, because the team that's ahead can control the items, which makes it even harder to fight from behind, right? It's hard enough to fight, 13 to 11, never mind 13 to 11 into 2 turrets and a biotic emitter. So I think Volskaya is actually one of the harder battlegrounds to make a comeback on. Goku getting caught out does eat some damage before kind of flying slowly the other direction.
Yeah, this guy's got some evasive maneuvers for sure. But, oh! Could not get out of that because of a brilliant silence there from Sailor Twift. Otherwise, would have had the teleport out, but Hinterlands lands with a little support there from Stukov.
And a big flank. There's the triple Twilight Dream. Down goes Urel. Sonya trying to spin to stay alive. Sailor Sky running for her dragon life. The Ultralisk lands and secures the kill. Is Sonya going to be next? Yes. Durotan's Couch now 11-0. Ladies and gentlemen, do not play no tank games against Durotan's Couch. I think they've been practicing this, and they must have baited the Found Vikings into this gentleman agreement. I think it was their idea.
Yeah, a little bit. Kind of reminds me of a couple guys at the pool table. One of them walks away really mad, feeling like they got played a little bit. But yeah, Genji gonna go down. And count it, Mongoose, 12-0 on the kill counter right now.
Yeah, and meanwhile, bot lane.
Right. Oh, Dicky getting kind of low. But in comes the Sonya. And they might actually get the return kill here. Too late for Varian to be able to turn around and try and get the damage out, so they will be able to clean this up. But meanwhile, the charge has begun in the top lane.
Well, and even more important than Varian falling, the turret, Jay. He dropped the turret.
Oh.
He gave the Found Vikings a turret. That's a big deal. If I'm Found Vikings, I want to go up on this point like right heckin' now. That was for you, turd herder.
There we go. Yeah, Falstad does have Fly to come up here. But meanwhile, the shove not really getting a whole lot done. But the turnaround here, along with that huge Twilight Dream coming in, now it's Sonya that's walking away, trying to walk away with a turret here. Might want to put that down and hit Turlins finds Li Ming on the backside of that. The healing is good, though. Still have the Dragon Queen trying to keep everybody alive. The turret does end up going down there, but gets blown up fairly quickly. And the chase is on. Nobody is going to walk away here except for Dicky. The only one left to tell the tale, and not by much there, Mongoose.
Yeah, and another drop turret. I think in the madness of what's going on, guys are just kind of forgetting to deploy those things because they passed that one back and forth. First from Durotan's Couch to the Vikings, and then they return the favor.
And another camp stolen here by Durotan's Couch. They're definitely on the camp game, and they definitely have the superior camp clear between the Falstad, Kerrigan, and the Varian. Sonya no slouch at it, but she's not gonna triple their output on the other side. So we do see the Protector has been picked up. We've got a couple of members in here, both the healers actually here, Mongoose.
Yeah, so it went from a double support comp to a no support comp, but 3-level difference like that with a Kerrigan and a Varian on the outside, it's not like they're vulnerable. Falstad is actually sieging in the mid lane. Urel goes down, so does Contender. Sonya could be next, and she is. Varian securing all 3 of those kills. And the Found Vikings just cannot seem to find any answers. Kerrigan going absolutely YOLO. Doesn't land the combo, forced to pop the healing stasis, the name that I don't remember. What is the name of that talent? Crystallis. No?
Yeah, the Chrysalis. You're right.
Chrysalis, no T. Chrysalis. And that's game 2. Because Twin Blades Variant Encore.
And the Protector, also small factor. But yeah, mostly Variant.
Well.
Geez, well played, Durotan's Couch. Let's go have some dinner.
We will show the match summary screen first. A pretty commanding 2-0 win there for Durotan's Couch. And I believe, as I'm trying to look at the standings, that puts them in contention. They needed that win to put themselves in contention to advance out of their group. It's 2 groups of 4. Top 2 teams in each group will advance to a 4-game playoff. So that puts them in second place, right behind Calculated Throw. So big points here in our quest for the Golden Sombrero. Mr. Jason, I think that'll do it for us.
All right. Well, we want to thank, of course, everybody for coming out and watching, supporting these teams. Of course, both the teams for coming out, putting on a good show. Big props to Durotan's Couch, breaking out some fun comps. Abusing the power of the healers in this game right now. And see you guys next time.
All right, everyone, have a wonderful night. We'll catch you around.